Hey guys, it's Maddie from Travel Feels.
What are you doing? That's not Maddie. Hey guys, welcome to Travel Feels. This is Maddie, and that's actually my brother. So my younger brother is here in town and we thought we'd come out to Bluffers Park and do a little photo shoot, a little photo walk. And a lot of people think we look alike. Some people think we're twins. We're not actually twins. He's 4 years younger.
The younger and more handsome one.
That's not true. And yeah, we're kind of doing something interesting today. I don't actually usually use vintage lenses that often, but I found this cool lens called the Helios 442. I don't know what it's called. I'll write it down or something. And I saw some pictures with it and you get some really cool bokeh effects. And I thought that it'd be a really cool idea for a video to show how you can use vintage lenses, which are super cheap. This lens costs like $30, so it's super cheap. But I wanted to show the effects you can get from a really cheap lens that still works really well today. That's like 40 years later. And my brother's a way better photographer than I am, so I decided to put the lens in his hands and see what he could get with this lens. So let's do it. So we're here at Bluffers, like I said. It's kind of this interesting place where they have these sand dune mountain looking things. Just thought it would be an interesting spot to test out the lens.
It's our Canadian Yosemite.
No, it's not that cool. And we've been testing out the lens, the Helios, whatever it was. I forget what it's called. Let's ask my brother what he thinks of it so far.
It's pretty dang good. You get some nice bokeh. It's fun to play around with.
So you guys have met my older brother. He's the one that we built the PlacerCam app with. He's a coder, developer, that kind of thing. And this is my younger brother. There's three of us. And he's also a photographer, a videographer like me. He's a little bit more photography heavy. He's really good at that, but he also does really good videos. And he actually started his own YouTube channel, so you should definitely go check him out. I'm sure he's gonna appear in my videos a bunch too later on, who knows when. He lives in Australia, so it's on the other side of the world, but every once in a while we hang out. How you enjoying Canada?
It's pretty dang good. Good to eat all the good food. And say A lot.
A boot?
A and A. But the best part is just to see family, because it's been 2 years since I've been back home in my hometown, so it's nice to be with the brothers and the parentals.
Good, feels good.
Heck yeah.
And are you excited to launch your YouTube channel?
I'm incredibly excited. Yeah, I'm so excited to finally be able to release just my travel films and other projects that I've been able to do on the side of weddings, so I'm really excited to have a new place to showcase my work. One thing I hate about travel films and vlogging is that it feels so awkward to talk to the camera. It feels like this thing is just staring at you in the eyes.
So how are you gonna launch a YouTube channel?
I'm just gonna have to face my fears of talking to a camera. I'm so used to shooting the camera with someone else, but never in front of the camera, but now I gotta have to learn to do that, I guess.
Oh yeah, good times.
Smokies, these are good photos right here.
What are we doing in the bush?
Taking some sweet photos with the Helios version 2.00567321.
I love it how neither of us know what it's called.
I don't know what it's called.
It's just a cool cheap lens.
But definitely cool little photos. Look at this. Oh snap.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Trying new things all the time.
You were just saying something about being creative in the same spot.
Yeah, I just love trying to figure out how I could take the most possible photos in the exact same spot. Just getting creative, getting out of the box, using different things to get good photos.
Like you were using the leaves and all that stuff.
Yeah, just framing them perfectly in this jungle.
All right, so we got some really cool shots testing out the Helios lens. And whoa, why don't we check it out in the studio now? So my brother was testing out the Helios 442 58mm f2, I now know what it's called. He was using the 5D Mark III, which is not the newest camera, and you can get it for a really good price used. And of course it doesn't fit natively onto a Canon, so we use this little adapter mount. I don't think this costs very much, maybe like $10. So about $40 total for this setup. And I wanted to say, go and check out my brother's stuff. He's an amazing photographer and videographer. And guess what, guys? He just started his own YouTube channel. And if ever you should go check out a new YouTube channel, it's my brother's channel. Go and check it out. Send him some love. It really helps to get that positive feedback when you're starting a channel. I know my brother's channel is just gonna take off, and he's gonna do some really cool stuff, especially in the photography world, but also videography. He's just got so much knowledge over the years shooting weddings and commercials and all that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at what kind of shots my brother got with this cheap $30 vintage lens, super old lens, and let's see if it's actually usable or is it just total garbage. So my brother did some quick edits on these photos, and it's really surprising at the results that he got with this $30 lens. The Helios 58mm has a really interesting look to it. It has this weird swirly bokeh. It's almost like a circular pattern that it creates, and it's just a really cool effect. It really makes the foreground or your subject pop from the background, and I really like this effect actually. It's definitely not a perfect lens. It's softer than the newer lenses, and some of the edges are really soft, but I actually kind of like this. I think a lot of lenses are just too sharp these days. They're too clinical, and it's nice to kind of play around with this vintage feel that has a little bit more character to it. There's just a lot going on. There's so much more character, and it's not just this clean and clinical look. And here we can compare the Canon 50mm 1.4, which is about a $450–500 lens, versus this $30 40-year-old lens. And it's actually really cool to see the differences. They definitely look different, but I wouldn't necessarily say that the $30 lens is just garbage. It has a really cool look to it, and I could definitely see people using this as a real lens in real shoots. And again, this is not scientific in any way, and there's some real drawbacks to using vintage lenses. For example, you're not gonna have autofocus, which can be a big hurdle if you're doing, let's say, event photography like weddings or something like that. You're not gonna wanna rely on manual focusing all the time because it's a lot slower and you might miss those really important moments. But it's really impressive what you can get for just $30. And I really wanted to put to test this idea of gear doesn't matter. It only matters who's using it and how you use that gear. And I think for the most part, that's actually true. My brother was able to get amazing results with this $30 lens. Yeah, he was using a $2,000 camera, but that's not the most expensive camera. That's not the high end right now. That's not the newest camera. And he was still able to get super good results because he's a really good photographer. It's so true that when you're starting out, you need to focus on your skills. Focus on actually getting better at photography or videography or whatever you're doing, and not so much the gear and all that kind of stuff. It's really easy to get caught up in gear lust, wanting that next new thing, the newest camera that comes out, the newest lens, all those things. You just constantly want them, and you think, if only I had those, then I would be a really good videographer or photographer. Then I'd be able to get those shots that I want. Then people would be hiring me left, right, and center. But that's so far from the truth. If you can't make really good photos or really good videos with cheap gear, you're not gonna be able to make great photos or great videos with expensive gear. That's the hard truth that none of us wanna hear, that it actually has to do with us and our skills. We kind of want to put the blame on something else, something external like gear. It's really easy to blame gear and say that my portfolio is just not there yet because I haven't shot with the right cameras, or I haven't had the right equipment to make the things that I want to make. And then there's also a lot of people that complain that, oh, that gear is way too expensive, or that's so overpriced. And that's just a matter of perspective. If you're saying that, then you don't need that gear yet. Once you're making a living and you actually need those pieces of gear, then it's just a business expense, and you're just gonna buy those, and you're not gonna care so much about, oh, that costs so much, because that's part of your business and you need those things for your shoots. But before you actually need them, yeah, you're gonna think it's so expensive because you're not making any money off that stuff yet. So really, you need to work on your skills and get better at whatever you're doing. I'm so guilty of gear lust. Every once in a while when the new cameras start rolling out, I'm just like, oh, I want that new thing. But really, that can be a big hindrance sometimes. Instead of using all that time and effort to look at all this new stuff, you should be just watching tutorials and learning, getting out there shooting, learn, make, repeat, and you're gonna get so much better than just focusing on the new gear. And this talk isn't meant to make you feel guilty. Really, I'm trying to inspire you guys to say that, hey, you can make amazing stuff with just a camera and a $30 lens. You can make really good photos or really good videos with cheap gear if you just focus on the real important things like composition and lighting and just learning how to use those tools in the best way possible. You can make really high quality films with cheap gear that make people think, oh wow, this was shot on some really expensive gear. That's something that we can all do and that we can all strive for. So $30 40-year-old lens, perfectly usable. You can get some really amazing shots. But you do need to know how to use it. Alright guys, hit that like button if you enjoy Travel Feels and you like what I'm doing here. Subscribe to the channel. Guys, enjoy the filmmaking process and go get some of those travel feels.